Yo, what's up, guys? Dr. Rich here with
Dr. Chris.
you guys ready to rip it up?
Oh yeah, it's a good day. Every day is a good day to rip it up.
You know that.
So what do we have?
You can't win with low energy.
Can't do it.
Why would you want to?
I don't know why you would do that to yourself.
Who would do that?
Why would you go into practice with low energy? It doesn't make any sense, right? You're there to help people. You're there to serve people, right?
Yep.
And so you don't bring in your negative energy. You go in with high energy, not low energy. You're giving, loving, and serving because that's what you're here for.
Yep.
Right? So low energy is not even an option.
So there's a few steps, right, that we teach on, well, how do we do this?
Well, you have to be considerate of a few things, right? But we start with the mind, the power of the mind.
Yes.
And I know preparation for that for everybody's a little bit different.
Yep.
We all vibrate differently, and we all sort of respond to different things that get our mind in the state that we need it to be in.
Mm-hmm.
But what do you do?
Do a couple things, but as you know, I've done a lot with meditation, transcendental meditation, all kinds of different meditation, yoga, things like that.
Yeah.
However, what we teach now is the sensory shutdown, right? Where we take time during the day
Yeah.
to shut everything down. And every minute that we do that, it's like gaining an extra hour of energy.
It's key.
Critical.
Some people laugh. I've referred, sometimes I'll put it in the context of, I wouldn't necessarily call what I do meditation. I know you've done that. I would call it a nap.
Yeah.
I'll just recline or lay flat on my back, depending on where I am, and I'll just breathe, keep my eyes closed, and I might drift into a semi-sleep state.
Yeah.
And I have this innate ability to just, I'm aware that I'm not supposed to go to sleep.
Yeah.
And so I'm kind of back, maybe 15 minutes.
Yep.
And there's something really magical about that.
Well, have you ever heard of the incandescent light bulb?
I have.
And who developed that?
Thomas Edison.
So he was known to have failed
Yeah.
10,000 times
Yeah.
trying to create the incandescent light bulb.
Yeah.
One of the main things he did throughout the course of his day was exactly what you just described.
Yeah. A lot of these people in history that were great thinkers also knew when not to think.
Yeah, right. Right. And then you can shut it down, regroup, turn on the senses when you come back to it, and you're ready to go. The other thing, you got to prepare the body. I've seen so many chiropractors that are in worse shape than the people that come to their office.
Makes no sense, right? I mean, who can anchor to an unanchored mind, right? So
I've heard
look the part, walk it, talk it, be it, right?
Yeah.
So I have a routine.
Yeah.
I stick with it. Mine's a routine where I do high intensity training 3 days a week.
Yeah.
So I do it in such a way that I'm getting cardiovascular exercise, resistance training, and I stretch.
Yeah.
And I make that commitment to myself because I know that I'm going to be at my best for the patients when I'm in the practice, not only for them, but for myself, my own life, right? My own,
Right, of course.
just my own quality of life, and for my family, right? I want to be there, and preparing your body for that. I'll tell you a funny story. I take it so seriously that a year ago there was an event in town, and there was a CrossFit kid there, right? And this kid was in great shape, and I like a challenge. I'm a little competitive.
Yep.
So they were doing a push-up contest. So I went over to him and I said, and so what's the record? And you had to do, he was the CrossFit guy. He was like a 28-year-old guy. He was pretty jacked. And you had to do 53 push-ups, nonstop.
Yeah.
So I did. I beat him. I did 54. And they promptly shut the contest down. But I think it was great because it was an example really to myself that...
You were just there at the event.
But
right?
I'm like old enough to be his father. You know what I mean? I'm just there. I happened to see it. I said, I'm going to do it. But because of the ritual of preparing my body over the years now, being in practice all these years and just about to turn 50 now, I'm able to do this day in and day out with high energy.
Yeah.
No sacrificing. The patients don't have to lose out.
Right.
No one does.
No one does.
Including me.
I got to ask you though, when you did the push-up contest,
Yeah.
what were you wearing? A tank top and some shorts, or what were you wearing that day?
No, it was one of these town, fair type of things, and it was outdoors. And I happened to be, I think the day I was wearing, I think I was wearing a pair of maybe khaki shorts and a polo shirt.
Okay.
But I didn't look like I was going to the gym.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know what I mean? And I think it caught him off guard. And I wasn't trying to show off. I was actually in a little bit of a moment of competition with him, I guess.
And yourself,
But
maybe?
myself,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
just said, you know what? I want to see what I can do here. And it was it was fun.
Yeah.
Really more than anything.
Not for him.
But what was kind of neat was that there were actually a few patients hanging around that saw me do this, and I thought it was just cool that they got to see that I do practice what I preach.
Yep.
I am in the game. I am working at my own health and fitness.
Yep. That
Yeah.
comes under the next topic
Yeah.
of be congruent.
Yeah.
Right? If you're, you know, people ask us the same questions every day.
Mm-hmm.
Every day. What can I do? What can I do? How can I? Right?
Yeah, I mean, I think that, you know, being congruent is one of those things that if you're not congruent, you know it, and they're going to know it.
They're gonna see right through it.
Yeah, and you're gonna, and because it forces you to put on or put up such a front that you're gonna be exhausted.
Mhm.
I mean, there's no way you can go in there, and that's why I don't like that expression "fake it till you make it."
Yeah.
Just cut it out.
Right.
Just be honest with yourself.
Right.
Stop lying to yourself. Stop
Yeah.
lying to your patients. Why are you even in practice if you're not about quality of health?
If you have to lie,
Right.
something's wrong.
Right, and I'm not saying that we don't all go through like an evolution. Like I didn't get
Yeah.
my own diet right till
Yeah.
I was probably in my late 30s.
Yeah.
It took me a while to really get that down.
Yeah.
So there were parts of my life, and I still work on it. I still want to be better. I
You
still
do,
want to
yeah.
improve. But at least I'm honest with myself,
Yeah.
and I bring it to them, and I'm honest with them, and we have a conversation. You know, those moments in practice where you're congruent with yourself, they feel that.
Yeah.
And they resonate with that.
That comes down to what we've talked about many times is when you're communicating with a patient
Mhm.
and you're able to lock eyes and not look away
Right.
or not, then it's game over
Right,
again because
right.
you know that they know that you know that they know, and you know what I mean. It goes from there.
Yeah, I mean, no one wants to be around that kind of energy. You can't explain it. You're vibrating at different levels. It
Yeah.
doesn't feel natural.
Yep.
It feels forced.
Yep.
But when you're real with them, like you should be, and then you're putting yourself in the position of being a better leader.
Yep.
You're going to bring them to a place they really want to go, and then they're going to believe you because you're congruent.
That's why they're coming to you in the first place. They're
Right.
fighting traffic after a long day of work.
Right.
And here in the Northeast, when it's dark at like 2 in the afternoon in the
Brutal.
winter,
Yeah.
freezing, traffic, kids, this and
It's an
that.
exaggeration, but
Yeah. And they make it to your
Yeah.
office at 6:30 p.m. or whatever.
Yeah.
They're not coming to you for maintenance care. They're coming to you because you're the leader,
Right.
and you're going to make them feel better
Right.
in multiple ways.
Right.
in
Why?
all
Besides,
ways.
stop helping them maintain a problem.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
They came to you for leadership and for direction to
Right.
improve their lives. So be congruent.
Yeah.
Own it. Be it. Right.
Be it.
And then and all things work out from there. It's really that's the magic in the visit.
And then lastly, you got to come to work each day when you're there.
Yeah.
Again, we've condensed our days and time
Mm-hmm.
to the bare minimum.
Yeah.
You got to perform.
Right.
And now this can get a little tricky in the semantics of it, right? So
It's a performance in the sense that you are being called to service.
yeah,
You know, most of us really believe that somehow we were called to be chiropractors, right? We all have a story, you know, some more than others, but you're there for a reason. You're there to serve people. It's an honorable thing. It's a privilege is what it is. So it is a performance in the sense that you must rise to the occasion.
Yes.
It isn't a time to shrink, you know, to devalue what you do. It's a time to really prove to them that you're there to help lead them in the right direction, that they can trust you for that.
yeah. And so a couple things that we do is that we teach, as many have in the past, is the concept of PTC, or present time consciousness.
Yeah, key.
When you're in the room with somebody, when
Right.
you're with somebody, you're
Right.
there with them 100%.
Right.
You're not looking
Right.
out the window, that type of thing.
Mhm.
And the other thing is the concept of self-forgetfulness.
Yes.
In other words, while you're there, you've forgotten about yourself so that you can be there with them 100%, goes hand in hand with present time consciousness, but you're not worried about the water heater leak at home and this and that and all
Right.
the stuff that we all have.
Right.
You're there 100%. You flip the switch
Right.
and you're there to serve and perform because you're ready to do so.
I mean, I had so many greats say to me going through school, this is about changing and saving lives. And I remember as a student thinking, what are they talking about? You know what I mean? So, but in practice, you start to see the desperation that people have.
Yes.
And that, oftentimes, thankfully, in chiropractic, I don't think you should have a big ego because you're going to not be the first resort. You're often going to be the last resort.
Yeah.
And they're desperate for your help.
Yeah.
So if you're anything but high energy and committed and congruent, on purpose and performing for them, you're not doing your job.
Yep.
It's
Yep.
that simple.
Yeah. Guys, if you like this video, go ahead and subscribe and turn on your notifications. And remember, until next time, rip it up!